RTX 2060 is available January 15th. Amazing price of $349. Higher performance than a 1080 Ti.
It's that time of year again, friends. It is CES time, and like I mentioned in our what is Nvidia launching video, we didn't have the money to go to CES. So we're doing remote coverage from here in Pretoria, South Africa, and we've got rocks, lots of rocks, but there's some zebra up ahead, and we're gonna talk about what Nvidia just announced at their CES keynote and do that so near zebra, because what else do you do in Africa? Obviously, we don't want to get too close to the zebra, don't want to spook them, but they're right there in the background. So let's talk about what Nvidia just announced. They got a lot of cool things. So let's talk about the RTX 2060 first. There's a lot of rumors beforehand that we might get 6 different editions, and we might have a whole different slew of price brackets and a lot of different competition coming in. And Nvidia announced one card. We have the RTX 2060 6 gig, and they announced it at the price point of $350. So this is something that we were expecting from them, which isn't too bad. And I want to preface that, but I also kind of want to discuss that price a little bit first. So when the RTX series first launched, one of the things that Nvidia did is that they said they were launching from $499. So it meant that the 2070, which was $500, actually retailed for $600. During this keynote, Jensen didn't say from $349. He actually said it was just $349.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to tell you that the 2060 is available for $349.
So that should mean that both the AIB partner cards, like your Zotacs, your Asuses, your Gigabytes, and MSIs, should cost $350, as well as the Founder Edition on Nvidia's own website. So that's what we're expecting. We heard nothing of a 3 GB card, we heard nothing of a 4 GB card, only a 6 GB GDDR6, and nothing more, which is okay for now. That's what I would prefer. I don't think Nvidia needs to muddy the waters. So what do we make of the rumor from before? It could just be that Gigabyte was filing a whole bunch of EEC filings with the Eurasian Economics Committee. I forget what that acronym stands for. Anyways, so it could just be that there were filings just in case and not actual products that are coming out. And it could just be that Nvidia isn't going insane and they're going to give us one card for one price, which is everything we wanted. Which, let's talk about the price point there. The $350 is a little expensive for an X60 class GPU. The 1060, if you remember, launched at $250 for the AIB cards and $300 for the Founders Edition. So this is a $50 price increase over the Founders Edition and $100 over the AIB partner cards. But given the performance that Nvidia quoted, as well as some leaked benchmarks that we've seen, it looks like it's going to be about a 1070 Ti in normal gaming performance. So a 1070 Ti class GPU, this is selling for $20 less than the 1070 launched for and $100 less than what the 1070 Ti launched for. It's an effective price cut, but not a practical one, because the 1070 Ti was recently seen selling for about $370. They took that off the market because obviously it would interfere, but you can still get used 1070 Ti's out on the market for about $300, and that's going to save you a bit of money. However, with ray tracing, the thing that Nvidia did announce for Battlefield 5 is deep learning super sampling, so that we will get better performance with ray tracing on about 60 to 65 FPS at 1440p with the 2060, hopefully around 80 to 90 FPS at 1080p. It's not fantastic, but it's okay. It's acceptable. The other game that Nvidia announced deep learning super sampling for was Anthem, in fact. Anthem, the game that everybody's expecting to flop wildly from EA, looks like a bad Destiny 2 clone. I'm just crapping on it for no reason. I'm sure plenty of people are hyped for it, Reece included. Anthem gonna have deep learning super sampling, so hopefully getting better performance at 4K by lowering the effective render resolution and then upscaling it using the tensor cores and AI processing to make an image that is indistinguishable from actual 4K, but then also you get better performance. So that's the game news. They also showed off this weird Justice game, which is a Chinese MMO, which looks like bad PlayStation 3 graphics, but it's gonna have ray tracing. It just goes to show, my friends, like, ray tracing doesn't make a game look better if it's not actually properly like if the textures are bad, the game is going to look awful. So ray tracing can't save a bad looking game. It doesn't make it look lifelike. It gives it lifelike reflections, which is swell and dandy. But the thing that is super swell and dandy, the thing that I thought was the most amazing announcement that Nvidia made at CES, no lie, no extra hype, they will be officially supporting several FreeSync monitors on the Nvidia cards. This is coming from Nvidia directly. They did a whole spiel about how there are 550 different adaptive sync monitors on the market. 180 of those, I believe, or no, 70 of those are G-Sync monitors. So there's 480 FreeSync monitors, and they're going through and they're testing every single FreeSync monitor to find the best quality ones to give them. Oh, there's a young one. No wonder they don't like us. They're going through and testing all 480 FreeSync monitors to see the ones that have the best support to be classified as G-Sync certified with Nvidia graphics cards. So effective January 15th with a driver update, they announced 12 different monitors as of right now that they are considering G-Sync qualified, with 180 monitors that they still have left to test, and then hopefully we'll get a few more out of that. But in case you either have one of these FreeSync monitors, or you're like a million people out there who have an Nvidia graphics card and want to pick up a cheap FreeSync monitor, Nvidia brought the freaking news that they officially support it as of now for select models. So I would expect that the sales on those models will go through the freaking roof sometime soon.
For the gamer who just wants to try it, we have it in our control panel so that you could just turn it on, okay? But going forward, we're gonna try to test as many of these async monitors as we can.
And then last but not least, Nvidia announced their mobile RTX cards, RTX 2060, 2070, and 2080s on the mobile platforms with Max-Q varieties. They said that they're launching over 40 different laptop models from all of the OEMs in the world, and they'll be available from January 29th. You get the thin and lights with the Max-Qs. They're saying that the 2080, the RTX 2080 is better than a GTX 1080 desktop, which is pretty cool, and the 2070 is better than a 1070 desktop, which again, for the form factors that they're showing, especially in like the MSI G65 Stealth, you're getting 1080 level performance with something that is like 30% of the size of a PlayStation 4 Pro, which that was a super weird comparison they did. They said it was twice the performance of a PS4 Pro, which is like, okay, great. Thanks, Nvidia. The best moments from this are Jensen saying it just works again, him making this sound effect, whoop, whoop, which he did several times, whoop, 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 and him just rambling on about things that he already announced at Gamescom. It was a pretty okay keynote. It took a lot of time for him to announce the 2060. In fact, a full hour into the keynote before we got any freaking news on that whatsoever. Ended up being like an hour 45 in total. Thank you to everybody who tuned into the live stream for that. It was much appreciated to watch it with you guys. He did mess up at one point saying that the 2060 is faster than a 1080 Ti, but it was on screen that it was a 1070 Ti, and he clearly messed up saying it. But in case we want to hate on Nvidia more, he said it's faster than a 1080 Ti. So when the benchmarks come out, it's not.
How dare he?
How dare he?
RTX 2060 is available January 15th. Amazing price of $349. Higher performance than a 1080 Ti.
But as with all things, just like when the 20 series first launched, do not pre-order these cards. Wait until reviewers get their hands on them. Any leaked benchmarks that are coming out right now probably are done by Nvidia exclusively. So just wait. Obviously, we can say it's better than 1070 Ti or about the same, but that doesn't mean it's actually going to be when all things are said and done. So make sure to wait for benchmarks from official reviewers. We're going to try to get our hands on a card before, you know, the review dates come out, but the likelihood of, again, being in South Africa doesn't tend to happen as quickly for us. So that's it for everything we have from Nvidia's announcement today at CES. Thank you all for watching the video. Please, if you want to support us directly, you can do so over at our Patreon, patreon.com/UFDtech. Maybe we might be able to raise enough funds to go to CES next year. Stay tuned. We have a whole bunch more CES remote coverage coming up. We'll be doing a live stream of AMD's announcement on Wednesday, the 9th, when they're supposed to be announcing. I believe it's 9 a.m. Las Vegas time. It's going to be 7 p.m. here in South Africa. We'll be live for that yet again. Again, stay tuned for all of our CES coverage. Smash the like button if you enjoyed it. Please get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. Those are some zebras, or as they call them here in South Africa, zebras. Rhymes with Deborah. It's really weird. I had to adjust to that. But yeah, we'll get back to you with more remote coverage. Let's go, Reece.
People were so excited about it, everybody's playing with RT on. It brings us so much joy. How do they do that?